Happy Friday, folks. Rob Appell here from Stitchin Heaven out in Quitman, Texas. Actually, in Quitman, Texas. It's a beautiful rainy day, and I am house sitting at Tiffany Hayes' place while she's on an awesome quilting cruise with us at Stitchin Heaven. Now, she doesn't know I'm house sitting, but now you all do. So let's have some fun in her studio while she's away for the week. What do you say? Let's get started. And of course, it's also Scrap Masters Series 2, Week 6. So we're going to get our roll and spin right here on location in Tiffany's awesome studio. You see the Series 1 quilt behind me here. So if you're working with those blocks or you're integrating those blocks, no problem. If you haven't started participating and you would like to, please download either Series 1 or Series 2 or both free patterns from our description right below. There's links for you. They're just easy grayscale style patterns that you can follow along real simply as we go with our random roll and spin each week, using up our scraps and having all kinds of fun together. Please make sure you are chatting with us today. Excuse me, I am a little hoarse. I've been celebrating a lot this last Thanksgiving week and everything, of course. But yes, please make sure that you are following along today, Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching while the video is premiering, we'd love to know who you are, where you're coming from, and the new phrase of what's under your needle. That's right. Question du jour. What have you been working on? Are you done with your holiday sewing? Are you just getting started? Where are you at? What are you working on? We'd love to hear from you in the chat if you're following along on the premiere. Please, of course, always comment, like, and make sure you're subscribed with the other 85,000 subscribers out there in our awesome quilting community here at Stitchin Heaven. We have so much fun together. Of course, we specialize in experiences through our block of the month, our kits, our cruises, and our retreats. So we have a lot going on right now. I'll be talking to you about that more while I'm working on the block, as you know I love to do. But let's go ahead and generate for week number 6, Series 2, our random scrap block of the week. What block are we going to do, folks? Hopefully my color wheel corral here will keep the die from jumping off the table. What have we got? Block 6. You know, folks, I feel like this is getting a little loaded. We've got 6s and 5s on the wall completely. So you know what I'm doing? I'm doing another roll because I can. Remember, folks, there is only one rule to any of the Scrap Master series, and that is there are no rules. So anyways, let's do this. Let's do another roll. I don't even like that number 6. Oh, hey, hey, hey. Oh my gosh, it keeps coming up 6. All right. I rolled enough times, we got a 1. Maybe we're supposed to do number 6 anyways. Hey, folks, you choose. Craziness. I want to do block number 1. This is going to be super fun. Easy, great. We have a lot of squares today to do. And then we also, of course, have a couple of half square triangles. What color? Now, I'm hoping, because I've got a bunch of my scraps. Remember, folks, as we build parts and pieces, whether they're for other quilts or they're what we're working on here at Scrap Masters, make sure you're saving all those extra half square triangles. So I'm really hoping for a blue family today. Let's make sure our wheel spinner is safe. Oh my gosh, I nailed it. And it was a weak spin, but I'm keeping it because it landed and I had to spin so many times to get the 1, or roll so many times to get the 1. Block 1, color blue. You'd almost think that I could have just edited it better, don't you? All right, let's see, but it's supposed to be live. Here we go. How many different fabrics can we use? Let's go for a medium number today. How many different fabrics can we use, folks? 4. 4 is not a medium number. However, because I've already cheated twice, and remember, I'm just adjusting the rules. Let's go ahead and stick with 4. I'm going to try that. I'm going to challenge myself, which also means that when I'm working in this background, that my pieces in my background fabrics, I have been using my low volume neutrals, trying to come together with more of a common ground. Now, if you look at this, I think it's going to be a very interesting project the way Series 2 starts to come together because the colors are a little bit different. But as you hopefully can see, each one of these blocks, I've been using my fabrics called Groundworks, which is coming out very soon. So using my samples here, which are low volume neutral. So they've got a neutral colorway in the background and then some color. So when I say blue, I'm going to pick these out here as my background, which is actually going to really help me because remember, I've got these ones already made. And so with these ones made, I can actually now hit my lights, my lights and my darks together, which would be my low volume neutrals and my darks. And then I can also hit the mediums and the low volume neutrals together. So we're going to sort through those real quick. I have 3 other fabrics I can choose. And really what's happened, because I'm using my low volume neutrals, I've already been roped into 2. And then what I want to do is something a little bit different maybe. I want to get some darker going here. And I don't have this original one left, I don't believe. So what I'm going to do is, for some variety, add in, no, that's too blue. Too purple. So this would be my light, this will be my medium, this could be my dark. Okay, and that's good. Now I can integrate one more fabric here. Not sure am I loving that. What if we played with something else a little bit? So let's go to our color wheel and see what we can come up with, because that's just going to be very monochromatic and it's going to kind of flatline a little bit, I think. So I'm going to shift with my blues. And we know that orange is a complementary color. I know that the yellow and the red, but that's going to be really primary when I go together. So again, I could use this blue as my base. And I can still choose this if I need those half square triangles as a medium. And then let's get some different darks, because that gives me a bunch of the ones I've already made. That'll save me some of my scraps. I thought we were trying to get rid of them. I know what you're saying. So now let's go with just a different tone. What if I bring this in as my darks? Nope, don't like that. Sometimes I have to experiment. Ooh, I do like this again. Okay, so now maybe what I'm going to call that is my mediums and my darks. So what we're going to now do is we're going to integrate, just for fun, a couple of these extra pieces. So then everything's going to be done out of these 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll use this as my light and my dark. I'll use this as my mediums as we get ready to go. So now I want to count out my half square triangles as I can see, as I need them for the light darks, which are 1, 2, 3, 4 of those only. And those have already all been made for me down here at the 2.5 inches. So I can set those aside for my pile. And then I'm also going to need 4 from the lights and the medium. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to match those up. And remember, we're going to get 2 from each. So it's going to be a super easy build for me today because I'm using up some of my scraps in my scraps. Okay, so those go to the half square triangles. I'm just going to set them over here at the machine, which we'll get to in a second. And then that means really all I need now is another 16. I forgot the middle block. So I'm coming up short there. So that's 9. I needed 2 more for the middle block, middle unit. And what I could technically do is I can shift to keep within the one rule I'm trying to stay within and make, that's 9. That's going to give me what I need there. Pull out this one, putting back in the other. So now I'm omitting this fabric from my stash. Wow, the way the brain has to work sometimes with this. Isn't it fun though? Okay, so now we're going to put those together. We have these now, and I got down to, I believe I had 8 of these, which will be fun, and I need 16. So now what I want to try to do is actually find a color from the blue family that's closer. You see that? So that it won't get caught up and lost in those dark mediums. So I think I'm going to go with those now and shift this over. And so really for the easiest use of sewing at this point, I am going to go ahead and make the half square triangles, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut down 1, 2, and I'm just stacking them so the corners line up. One set of corners line up. 3, 4. Oh, I'm still not going to have enough. You got to be kidding me. 5, 6. This is rad. Okay, I'm breaking the rules. Forget it. I'm out of here. I'm breaking the rules. Cutting these down to 2.5s to begin with. Okay, so that is 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to cut down these. Yes, I'm now breaking all the color rules, which is just fine because it's what the rules are, which is just to have fun making quilts. And if you haven't done these before, folks, this is all about having something to work on when you're not sure what to work on. You know, those times where you break into your friend's house, steal their sewing room, steal all their sewing supplies. It is nice when you bring your own fabrics. Don't forget about that. Okay, so these are all rendered down. These are rendered down. Let me quickly make out these half square triangles for us over here. And that's going to be real easy because Tiffany's got my wonderful Handy Quilter 510 that I love. She's got her tape laid out for seam tape. So I'm just going to line up this corner as I kind of race through these here, chain piece these. She's got a little bunny tail in there, I hope. Here's the point I'm stitching on it. All right, that's 1, 2, 3. Get your thread cutter, and then I just use the cutter on the side of the machine. I really do. Okay, I'm just going to set this little bunny tail aside for later. And then I'm just going to rotate those same blocks. Again, using that little diagonal down there, the thread, the distance, the fact that I do it this way all the time, so it's just kind of becoming habitual. Sewing down the opposite side, so this will generate technically, and a lot of you use a line on your diagonals to help with this, or your single outs, but this will generate now 6 half square triangles for these 3 units built like this. Easy peasy. I used the long end of the slotted trimmer to trim them first in half, and then we're going to use our slotted trimmer to take off the edges down to 2.5 for our half square triangles. Oh, I bet I've talked so long I let the iron go cold over here, so let's fire that back up. All right, and as I'm trimming these down, folks, let's talk about some of the awesome things that are coming up right now at Stitchin Heaven, right? Like I said, we have 85,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Thank you all for helping us hit that milestone. I'm super, super blessed and excited about it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Remember to share everything that's going on here and or comment and like. That really helps our community grow. And speaking of communities, it's one of the things that we are really proud of. We have a lot of different Facebook groups. We have a Facebook group for this channel, this show here. It's called So Well, Rob Appell. I'd love to have you join there. You will need to answer a couple of questions to come through, and that way we make sure we keep only real quilters in our group so we can enjoy safely our community there. And that's also where we post pictures, folks, of our finished blocks. And you can see there's a couple of beautiful blocks that have been made over the last few weeks. I liked watching this week where several of you use your holiday sewing time to get caught up on your blocks. Awesome. I see some folks talking about using their quilts and their blocks as gift for their sewing. I think that's incredible. Thank you for honoring me that way as we have fun together making these random quilts and just sewing on Friday afternoons together. Super fun. I do really, again, appreciate all the commenting and sharing and all of that that does go on around here. Now, we are doing this week, we're on day 3 of the 12 days of Quiltmas here at Stitchin Heaven, online and in the store. So day 3 is 25% off books and patterns. And every day we have a different deal. Please visit the website to see what's going on, even if you don't live close. Of course, Giant Santa's outside, so you can come by and get your pictures with him if you do live close. That would be awesome. And like I said, we're going to continue to run the awesome specials, the different specials each and every day. And make sure you are looking. We've got some great ones as we ramp up towards the holiday. So that is the 12 days of Quiltmas, day number 3. I am recording this and I just realized you'll be watching it on day 4. How silly of me. And therefore, I don't even know what tomorrow or today's special is. So why don't we figure it out? We'll chat it up. We'll talk about it while we're here. How silly. I just realized that I checked today's special, and today I'm preparing for what you are actually watching today, which is now yesterday. And yeah, I said it. I am a time traveler. Pretty cool, huh, folks? So maybe that's something I should add to my grateful list when we get there. The ability for time travel, which is actually just clever iPhone video and editing. But here we go. Back into what we were discussing. Handy Quilter event started yesterday's morning as well. So our Handy Quilter event is awesome. We have a long arm training series going on. There's a bunch of folks really excited this morning with their coffee. There are long arm machines all set up for everybody to use hands-on. We'll be training on the physical and the computer system. So if you didn't make the opportunity to come this year, definitely consider. We do it every year, and it's a great way to put your hands on, get some of that experience. And the educators are coming directly from Handy Quilter, which is super cool. And Jenna, one of these days, we're going to get you to come out here. Jenna Hall, folks, make sure you're following Jenna Hall. She is a ball of creative energy. And she'll be doing a cruise with us very soon, so make sure you're checking that out. Also online, I will put up a couple of slides here. We have a couple of cruises coming up with some real celebrities on them. It's going to be super fun. So make sure you're always checking out the Stitchin Heaven page so that you can see what events are coming up, what cruises are coming up. Last week we were doing another little special where we have some $1 registrations going on Block of the Month. So we're really ramping up the efforts in our marketing team and our creative teams as we get ready to really help grow this community. And I'm so glad you are here and part of it. Speaking of community, my next big thing I'm excited about, we're getting the prep work done, is the New Year's Day Mystery Quilt Along. That'll be happening January 1st right here on YouTube Live. It's about a 5-hour sew along. Please make sure you are getting your kits. At the time you're watching this video, we may be completely sold out of the Team Rob Appell, which features my fabrics this year from the newest Worlds collection. That's right before the Groundworks came out. And then also Tiffany has her fantastic batik line available in her quilt way this year. Yeah, so we're not offering a patriotic version. We have our own fabrics this year. That's really fun. When it comes to whose team you should be on, now there's a lot of questions going around in that Facebook group. So yes, we have a Facebook group for the Mystery Sew Along. It's not about so much the color. It's really not about anything. It was just a fun thing that happened a couple of years ago. But Tiffany and I sew differently, but we educate collaboratively very well together. I'm more carefree. She's a little bit more precise. And so we will teach you all different ways to assemble your quilts on New Year's Day as a mystery, with both techniques for accuracy and also techniques for just letting go a little bit and freeing up. So that's where the whole Team Rob, Team Tiffany thing started years ago, but it's been super fun to play it out. So yes, New Year's Day itself, live, Facebook, anybody can participate. It is free. There's links. Check it out. We do need your email so we can get you the soup recipe and the cut list. However, we have a wonderful retreat going on the time prior to, or the days around that New Year's. And I think there are a few seats left still for the New Year's camp, I think we're calling it. And at any rate, it's going to be super fun. So I would encourage you to check out stitchinheaven.com and see if there are still spaces that fit that retreat or any other retreats coming up in the near future for you. Don't forget about Pamela May as well. It's going to be an awesome one. Now, as I want to take a break from the announcements, I still going to come back to the grateful list because I have some things that I'm really grateful for right now. But I do want to get a little bit of my hands going on this block. It should be pretty easy to construct, but sometimes when I'm using these low volume neutrals, I do get a little confused. So right now what I'm going to do, by following my diagram here, I'm going to go ahead and start to build, kind of looking up these almost as flying geese in order. And then it's going to go back the opposite direction as I go through here. And you know I like to build my design layout here on my board as I work because it's so much easier to do the sewing that way. Now, I'm going to come back in this time, and the mediums are going to touch in here, which will help me with my direction for my mediums. And then, like I said, it's going to be really simple because most of the rest of this is going to be squares this week 6. But because I ran out of the blue fabrics, I did have to mix it up and match it up. So now what I want to do, as I put in my low volume neutrals, I'll set those around the center first to tell that story. And hopefully, oh, it looks like I have just enough. Okay. And now what we're going to want to do is we're going to need to kind of filter some of these out in some different direction. So I think I'm going to try to let my darker pieces come to the edges there. And then I'm just going to fill in the rest with my secondary color. Oh, okay, heavens. I have cut short once again. So now I need to find some more color. Let's stay with the ones we used. And I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 more. I know what I did. I wasn't accounting for those. I wasn't accounting for the solid squares in the triangle units. So if I'm going to get 7 more, and I only have one of those stripe units there. Looks like I'm using all of this up today, folks. Well, it is Scrap Masters, and we're mastering our scrap pile. So let's get this stuff going, huh? Purposefully putting that selvage on that outside edge as I get ready to trim it down. Yeah, 7's probably a little more than we should cut with the 45 ruler or cutter. That's usually for the 60 millimeter cutter, but we made it. Little sawing action. And now I'm going to mix it up even a little bit more. There we go. So now we can kind of see the flying geese chain block happening. Oops, what did I do here? That's right. I knew something wasn't looking right. There we go. And then that way we have our neutrals all the way out to the end. Rotate those around. And now I'm going to actually start sewing these pieces row by row by row as I go over to the machine. Piece by piece. And then I'll just use this black marking here and stitch through. Grab an edge, right back over, and I'll do this row by row this time just because of how I'm seated, where I'm sewing, and so I can stay on track today. Diddly-doo, diddly-doo, diddly-doo. That's right, a little callback to good old Wayne and Garth as I get inside of my head, as I sit and sew in the wonderful piece of the rain and this gorgeous creative space and studio. And when I'm in my brain, well, I often have to rely on the grateful list. That's right, folks. I'm one of those folks that gets stuck sometimes in a negative feedback loop. And every now and again, I have something going on that I just kind of hyperfixate on. And I believe that's why so many of us come in here to the sewing rooms, and whether that's our living room or these beautiful spaces, we get integrated in color and fiber and touch, working around sharp, hot, dangerous, pokey, those things, so we can start to get outside of that space in our head and into the new space. Well, one of the things a lot of folks will talk about if we're struggling with negative feedback is to take the moment and write down a grateful list, the things you're grateful for. Maybe write a letter and not send it to somebody, but just express yourself. And so thank you for allowing me to share each and every week what I am truly grateful for. We've got an awesome list. And of course, I'm going to start this week. Grateful list. Item number 1, we had an incredible Thanksgiving. Thank you for all that reached out and asked. You know, we had Catherine, the newlywed. My son got married this summer. His wife brought her mom, dad, one of her brothers, and grandparents to Thanksgiving. So we went from 8 to 14. So we got a bigger cabin up in the woods. We had an incredibly great time. Now, Stitchin Heaven sends each employee a smoked turkey or a vegetarian option each year. And so on day 2, the day after Thanksgiving, we took the smoked turkey down to the lake and we sat and really enjoyed having an incredible meal down there. So that was super exciting, a super fun blessing to have and to enjoy not only smoked turkey, but being down by the lake. That was just incredible. I did treat myself because it was Black Friday to a new technology. So item number 2 on the grateful list is, yes, new tech. I had so much fun. I've been waiting, and I still didn't even need a new iPad necessarily, but my life is in the iPad, and my other one is generation 2. So it was finally time to treat myself. I've been saving up. I had enough cash for it, and it was really fun to get myself the new iPad. I'm actually using it as part of our tech in this room today, and I'm loving it. But I also love to use it for my drawing. However, item number 3 on the grateful list is old tech. So right here is the ultimate package of colored pencils. Now, you know I've gotten a fondness for the 2mm color, a mechanical 2mm pencil. Well, this is a mechanical 2mm pencil that's mechanical, so I can replace the leads. Every color is a different shade, and I've been having so much fun in my little doodle book. You know, I started adding in color a while ago, but so here we go, folks. This is my awesome little drawing that I did, and that was really fun. During our Thanksgiving holiday, we took the time to play games, watch football, eat, took a little hike. So in the evenings, in the downtimes and stuff, I had set up on a little table and I just sat there and colored. I love to be in a room doing artwork that I'm just kind of half involved in, shading, moving my hands on the paper or whatnot, and then having the room full of conversations that I get to enjoy. So that was really a great blessing. Super grateful for old tech on top of the new tech. And that brings me to the final item on the grateful list. It is December. Now, I am a December birthday, so yes, I love getting gifts in December. I also am a Christian, and so I love to celebrate Christmas itself. Now, at Stitchin Heaven, we have the giant inflatable Santa out on the lawn already, which has become a real fun thing where everybody comes by and takes their pictures with their families and whatnot. So, no, he's so big! Everybody loves Big Santa! So if you are in the area, please come around and celebrate our giant inflated Santa out on the lawn. And as I was starting to say earlier today, I'm really excited about the events that are coming up. I love doing the New Year's Day Mystery Quilt Along with my friend Tiffany Hayes here. And I also really enjoy having the retreat going on at the same time. So folks, make sure you're going to join us for that wonderful sew along. And if you're interested, please consider checking out stitchinheaven.com for that retreat. I think you'll really enjoy being part of that. It's a very casual time, but we have a lot of fun. And so anyways, I think you'll dig it. And with all of that said, folks, don't forget, anytime you're feeling that life's getting a little bit heavy, or you're getting a little stuck in your mind with that negative feedback loop, don't forget to just take the moment and write down some of those things that you are grateful for. So I'm going to add one this week. I won't make it officially to the list because I only get 4 choices, but number 5 is I'm always grateful to see all of you here on our Friday afternoons. So with that said, folks, thank you so much. And let's see what's really going on at the sewing machine again. Okay, so now that I have all of the rows stitched out together, I'm going to go ahead and grab them and take them over to the ironing board today. and kind of rebuild them here so that I can press the individual squares so that the rows will help nest into columns and be real easy to get the block together with some accuracy. I mean, we are sewing in the palace of the passion for precision. So we really should do as best as we can today. So like I said, I've just got these kind of organized over here now, and I'm going to go ahead and take my first row, and I'm going to iron from right to left. And then in the second row, I would want to iron from left to right, but due to the nature of the way my body just works, I've just learned I flip my rows over. Now, of course, I say this almost every week, and for all of you returning guests, I love to see you every week. But we also have a lot of new quilters out there, and so I want to make sure I'm trying to offer good tips for everybody as we go. So now that one and that one, I need to remember to rotate it back, and it'll be easy for me to see that today due to the nature of the design. So that means this one here is going to be a standard. Oh, there, I got my steam to work. Always fun using everybody else's tools and toys, but I don't always know. Rotate, how each thing works right away, but it's a great way, kind of like I was saying about the Handy Quilter event, is demo days and sewing with your friends and using their tools and getting their advice is a great way to learn how to improve our skill sets and our equipment sets as quilters. If you ever forget which way you're heading, just check the last one you did, right? So now this is pressed this way, so this one will go that way again. So now what I was saying is that's going to make it real easy when I flip these over here. All of my seams are heading in opposite directions, so I kind of wiggle them together, go right back to that same 1/4 inch guideline I was using, and begin to sew the rows together. And the block is super simple this week 6. Kind of glad I rolled until I got away from block 6. Although I guess that's probably why we kept trying to get block 6. Was because it was a week 6. Take the time to press after each assembly here. Keep things accurate. And use your flying geese chain to make sure you are lining up when you move from row 2 into row 3 so that you don't get confused and have to remove some sewing down the road. From the rest of this part on, it's going to be super simple. All right, and there we have it. Let me hit this thing with the last ironing, and I'll show you how it turned out. I'm very pleased. Thank you all again for being here with me this fantastic Friday. Please remember to continually share your photos of your awesome blocks on the Facebook group. Make sure that you are investing in some fun sewing in your community. Look at that awesome block we've got going on there, folks. Isn't that going to be pretty? And you can see how I think this may begin to integrate either down here, here, here. You can see as we start to work them all in together how they're going to have these really cool abilities to kind of fit into the wall as you see. It's going to be rad. I'm super excited about it. So again, thanks for being here. Have a wonderful weekend coming up. Remember to concentrate on the things that you are grateful for. Remember to be spending time in your sewing room and be just celebrating the opportunity to be creative. Thanks again for being here, folks. We will see you next time. Until then, please stay well.